It was my first year of university, and I had just moved into my dorm room. My parents had left, and I was eager to meet my roommate. Later that evening, he arrived. From the start, I could tell something was off about him. He was lanky, awkward, and barely spoke. When I introduced myself as Eric, extending my hand for a handshake, he hesitated before weakly gripping my hand and mumbling, "Kevin." I tried to make small talk, but Kevin only responded in one-word answers. I gave up after a while, and we both sat in silence on our beds, using our laptops. I already knew this was going to be a long semester. The first night was uneventful, except Kevin never seemed to move from his bed. He just sat there, staring at his screen. When I turned out my light and tried to sleep, I could hear him clicking away on his keyboard well into the night. Eventually, I dozed off. At some point in the night, I woke up, feeling uneasy. I rolled over and saw Kevin sitting on the edge of his bed, facing me. His face was barely illuminated by the glow of his laptop. I whispered, "Hey, man, what are you doing?" He didn't say anything at first, then slowly turned his head toward me and whispered, "Nothing." Then he laid down and pulled the blanket over his head. The next morning, I left early to get breakfast and check out the campus. When I returned, Kevin wasn't there. I felt relieved. As I sat at my desk, I noticed my drawers were slightly open. I could have sworn I had closed them before leaving. I checked inside. Some of my notebooks and papers had been shuffled around. My gut told me Kevin had gone through my stuff. That night, I made sure to keep my belongings in my locked duffel bag. Kevin returned late without saying a word and went straight to his bed. Once again, he sat there for hours, barely moving. I turned off my lamp and tried to ignore him. Sometime in the night, I woke up again. The room was dark, but I had the strangest feeling I was being watched. I cracked open one eye and saw Kevin standing at the foot of my bed. He wasn't moving, just standing there, staring at me. My breath caught in my throat. "Kevin? What the hell are you doing?" No response. He just stood there. Then, without a word, he slowly turned and climbed into his bed. I couldn't sleep after that. The next morning, I went straight to the resident assistant and requested a room change. Luckily, they were able to transfer me by the weekend. My new roommate was normal, quiet but friendly. I felt an immediate sense of relief. The first night in my new room was peaceful, until I woke up to a faint scratching sound. It was coming from outside the door. I held my breath and listened. Then, the doorknob jiggled. Someone was trying to get in. My heart pounded as I crept toward the peephole. Looking through, I could see a shadowy figure standing outside, hunched over, fiddling with the lock. I didn't have to see his face to know it was Kevin. I stepped back, grabbed my phone, and called campus security. Within minutes, I heard footsteps rushing down the hall, then a loud banging at the door. "Campus security, open up!" I unlocked the door and the officers stormed in. Kevin was gone, but they found him at the end of the hallway, crouched behind a vending machine. They took him away that night. I never saw him again. I don't know what happened to him, and honestly, I don't want to know. But sometimes, late at night, I still feel that unsettling sensation, that someone is standing at the foot of my bed watching me sleep.